welcome to another episode of Flashback 64, or the chronological Nintendo 64 podcast. I'm Gooey, and as always, I'm with McKenna. Hey, McKenna.
Hello.
And we're closing the book on Diddy Kong Racing. We did a 1,000 episodes on it.
When did we record the first one?
December. But then there was some breaks in between, and now we have a new format on the show where we're covering almost more games and more frequently. So we're having a little less time for some of these diversionary things. So some of these other games, I'd love to do 1,000,000 episodes on Mystical Ninja, but now with the new format, we might not have that opportunity. But hopefully someday.
I feel like we should do a history and culture of Japan.
Bonus
episode for that.
That would be awesome. But let's save that for now. We haven't gotten there yet. We're talking about not just Diddy Kong Racing, but one thing that came up basically in every episode of a Diddy Kong Racing based discussion. It always came up, whether it was us or the guest, on how it compared to Mario Kart 64. Especially because these two games came out in the same year, in 1997. So we thought it would be fun to do an episode where we kind of, just for fun, pit them up against each other. We hate to see two kings go at it like this, but we're going to do it. And when I first thought of this, the number one person I had in mind is one of our guests, returning guests, our good pal, Andy Spiteri. What's up, Andy?
What's going on, Flashback 64?
Yes, thank you. This was tailor-made for you. I told you almost a year ago. I was like, look, we're gonna do a Diddy Kong Racing episode, and it's gonna seem like I've forgotten you, because I know how much you love this game. But I had this in mind as the grand finale, and you being the guy to help us close it all.
I remember when you started Flashback 64, and I was like, I got to get on 2 episodes, and the first was Diddy Kong Racing, and the second hasn't happened yet. I don't think we're quite there yet. But,
do you want to call your shot, or is it
Can I publicly call a shot?
Let's call your. Yeah, I'll tell you if it's cool.
I will be on the perfect episode of Flashback 64 when we dive into Perfect Dark.
Sweet, yeah, I can.
That's my shot.
We can agree to that because it happens so long from now that who knows if we'll who knows if any of us will be alive still.
Wow.
But thank you, Andy.
They've announced and canceled a Perfect Dark since we've started the podcast.
I know.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah. Poor Perfect Dark. Poor Rare. We want to create some podcast magic though, and I feel like, when you get these two guys in a room together, it's just sparks fly. So we also have another one of our great pals, Corey Richmond. What's up, Corey?
Hey, how's it going? You're absolutely dang right. Every time Andy and I get on a topic, he just can't take his eyes away from me, and he likes to make a spectacle,
Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah, I was like,
if you met Corey,
I'm not gonna force it, but I don't actually know how contentious any of this will be, but I was like, if we can get a go to hell, Corey, I don't want to force one.
But
if
we can crossover,
yeah,
it'll come naturally. I bet you. I think we'll get there.
Corey, you're also a good. You were on our Mario Kart 64 episode back when we covered it with another great pal of ours, Nico. Shout out to Nico. And so yeah, we got kind of your background with Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
I asked you to be on this, but I don't know. Were you a big Diddy Kong Racing fan?
I love Diddy Kong Racing as well. I didn't play it as much because I didn't have it myself, but I played it with friends and played it with neighbors and stuff. And I've it's full disclosure, it's been a while since I've played Diddy Kong Racing, but that's familiar. Fine. And I did some research as well.
Okay, some research. This was
more than me, Corey. Good on you, buddy.
I listened to the whole soundtrack today, and I just watched some people playing it. So
that's perfectly fine. This is not we're not going to definitively prove anything. In fact, my plan for this was that we're just we're going to talk about both games and gas them both up a bit, say things we like about both games, maybe what they do better than the other game. And I don't know, then at the end, everyone can kind of decide what they think is better. But there's, there's no trophy involved or anything. These are two of our highest rated games.
No trophy. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's not in the budget.
Hello, we are Kirby Conversations, a podcast on Kirby, along with other adjacent subjects like Smash Brothers, HAL Laboratory, and other related Nintendo games.
In each episode, we take an in-depth, well-researched look at a Kirby topic, drawing on our decades of experience playing Kirby games, creating Kirby-related content, and working in and around the video game industry. I'm Sean Douglas. I'm a theater and video game journalist.
And my name's Bridget. I'm an online Kirby commentator and collector.
Our team also includes photographer and Nintendo ambassador Kai Captain Dangerous Parker and Gigi, the editor-in-chief of Wick Kirby. Join us for deep dives into Kirby's history, interviews with industry professionals, and even inside looks at Nintendo, as together we explore all things Kirby and HAL Laboratory. You can find Kirby Conversations on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I figure let's start with, since it came out first, let's talk about Mario Kart 64. So basically, what I asked everyone to do, myself included, was just write down 3 things that you prefer about one game over the other game. And I know, Andy, you said you wrote 4 for Diddy Kong Racing. I just found that I apparently wrote 4 down for Mario Kart 64, though I don't remember what I actually wrote, so we'll see.
My fourth one is kind of a fake one. It's just a general broad statement, so we'll see.
Okay, maybe mine is as well. Okay.
Mine are kind of general.
Let's start. Okay, if we're starting with Mario Kart, Corey, you were one of our Mario Kart guests. Why don't you tell me what's something you like about Mario Kart over Diddy Kong Racing?
Well, as I listen to, I think a lot of anything I say is going to be contentious because I think a lot of this just comes down to personal preference. But especially something that's personal preference is music. And I listened to both soundtracks today, and I think Mario Kart 64's soundtrack is much better than Diddy Kong Racing soundtrack.
Much better. Wow.
I think it's much better. And I'll tell you why, actually.
Okay.
Diddy Kong Racing soundtrack, there's some bangers on there. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say Diddy Kong Racing has bad music because that's just ridiculous. That would be a silly statement. However, almost every song makes me feel like I'm on some kind of wacky, quirky game show that's super gimmicky and it's got crazy instruments and it's all like, whoa, look at this wacky, crazy stuff we're going on. And it's nonstop the whole time. And it's honestly, it's a little bit of an exhausting soundtrack to listen to the whole time. Meanwhile, you got Mario Kart 64, which we've talked about this. We talked about this for Super Mario 64 too, where it's like some of the music they did is like weird and funky and jazzy and like kind of doesn't fit within like the regular Mario, the regular brand. And that's because they were trying something new and cool. And Super Mario Kart 64 has like so many like interesting little piano trills and funky bass lines and just I think it's got it all. It's got some of the wacky crazy stuff. It's got some super epic tracks like Rainbow Road and Toad's Turnpike, and I don't know. I was listening to them back to back and just those songs were just pulling something out of me, you know?
I can understand why you would say that, but first I guess I want Andy to respond because you immediately sparked a response in Andy.
What can I say? Like these games are both like awesome, right? Like I don't want to sit here and make it sound like Mario Kart 64 has bad music because it doesn't. The music is awesome. I just have like so much love for Diddy Kong Racing and like that soundtrack. Like I have like some of the track name. Like I think I have like Walrus Cove on my Christmas music playlist or something like that, you know? And like, I love like all of the Future Funland songs. And like, honestly, I remember as a kid, and not even as a kid, like as an adult, just like being on the the starting menu where you have all the racers in Diddy Kong Racing, and like the
So
theme
cool.
was the same, but it would change instruments when you went from character to character, and I was just like, this is so awesome. So I personally have a lot of love for the Diddy Kong Racing soundtrack, and I think it does a good job too, because it doesn't like really rely on Donkey Kong music. Like Mario Kart has that music that it can pull from, right? Like the celebrated tracks where Diddy Kong is kind of like, for the most part, like pretty new themes and whatnot.
To be fair to
actually
Mario
only-
Kart 64, though, those are pretty original tracks to that.
Well,
Well,
They
that's
are.
what I was going
They
to
are.
say.
Yeah.
There are actually only a few, like maybe 2 or 3 tracks that are from Super Mario Kart. They're not even from like Mario. It's
Mhm.
Super Mario Kart, and then the rest of it's all original.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's like, do you like strawberry ice cream or do you like chocolate ice cream? And I like both.
Yeah, chocolate ice cream.
But I like chocolate ice cream a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Chocolate.
Oh, so you like
Oh,
Mario
yeah.
Kart 64 music better? All right, that makes sense.
Wow. Whatever one,
What-
you could draw your own conclusions
I was-
there, but
But I was when I was going through today, because I want to call attention to. I also wrote down some of like my bangers, the standouts from the soundtrack. So like when I was going through
Mhm.
Diddy Kong Racing, obviously the main theme is a bop, undeniable. The central area is awesome. Hot Top Volcano is really good. Walrus
Oh.
Cove is really good. And then like some of the
Frosty
boss
Village.
challenge ones, yeah, Frosty Village too, Dark Moon Caverns, and like that's out of like 40 something. I was personally able to pull like 6 where I was like, this is awesome. This is incredible. And then I started going through the Mario Kart soundtrack and I was like, yeah, this one. Oh, and also this one. Oh, and also this one. And this one too. And even like,
Mm.
I think just the sound design, they both have good sound design, but the sound design in Mario Kart is so iconic, even with like the fanfares when you start up, like
Mhm.
and the results music, the menu music, Rainbow Road, obviously, you know, it's got a bunch of bangers. Koopa Troopa Beach, Calamari Desert.
Oh, yeah, those are good. Did you have anything about music or anything, McKenna?
I did not put that, but I did think about it. I do really like the music in both. This is probably more just because I played Mario Kart when I was a kid, but I have like a much stronger connection to that
Yeah,
That makes sense.
soundtrack. I like hear one of those tracks and music.
Look at these
tracks
guys,
and
Andy, with their
instantly
nostalgia goggles.
transported.
we got 2-inch thick rose tinted goggles over here.
They're not nostalgia headphones.
Well,
I-
that's the problem with like same. Like I played Mario Kart way more as
Yeah.
a kid, so
Yeah.
just a lot
Well-
of this stuff is just going to come down to like, well, I like this better because it's what I played more.
That'll tie into
Yeah,
something
that's
later.
spot on, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
but I want to say in terms of the music, and it's more on the general vibe, is that like not just the music, but like the presentation and everything. For me, it's like it's something I'm kind of split on, where it's like the presentation of Diddy Kong Racing, I feel like, is a little bit more impressive. You know, just like the way the courses are a bit wilder. You know, there's more like big 3D objects. You know, you think about like the dinosaur on the course and stuff. And similar to the music, and it's all because like in that game they're going for like kind of what you said, Corey. I think it's meant to be sort of like a theme park, you know, like a
Yeah.
I think they were they said inspired
It
by
feels
Disney.
like you're on a roller coaster when you're
It's a-
playing Diddy Kong Racing, and Mario Kart's more of like you're racing on a racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
It's like they're intentionally going over the top.
I think Mario Kart's
You
Mario Kart has adopted that more so now. Like they go for the spectacle, but I feel like this has a little bit of spectacle, but it's a bit more basic, like you're racing. But I kind of like that sort of, I'm with you, where I kind of like that sort of like feeling and vibe a little bit more with the music and stuff. But I do think what they're doing in Diddy Kong Racing is a little bit more impressive, I guess I would say. So it's like
It's definitely effective. It's just which you like better, you know.
Yeah, like I personally played like I not even a lot more Diddy Kong Racing, but like I played more Diddy Kong Racing than Mario Kart 64. So like those tracks for me hit in the feels. But I mean, like I wouldn't say like the sound design in Mario Kart is bad or like the songs are bad. Like there's some great nostalgic tunes that you can listen to in there. Like you mentioned Rainbow Road. I'll have more to say about that. But like I mean I think that's my favorite Rainbow Road track like that they've ever done.
It's iconic. Yeah.
It is iconic.
So you were talking about Corey. You mentioned I'm going to say one of mine because you made me think of it. You were saying like it's just the one you played more Mario Kart, and that's generally true of most people. Most people in our age demographic that I meet, you know, and so it's kind of an unfair thing. But I think one thing I like, and all my points kind of connect together. But one thing I like about Mario Kart 64 more is that it is just an easier one to play with a bunch of random people. Like if you threw that cartridge in a room with a bunch of random late 20s to late 30-year-olds, you know, somewhere in that range, like people are gonna be more comfortable and more familiar with it and have more fun with it. We had some experiences playing with some friends who, you know, didn't play that, and we played the multiplayer a little bit, and then it was like let's play Mario Kart because like it seemed like they were gonna have more fun with that. Yeah. So it's not really fair to the game. It's just the reality.
Mario Kart 64 on at the marathon.
On top of that, I think there are reasons even beyond that I think it's a little bit more approachable in that regard, in that like I feel like it's a bit more balanced too. Like the items and stuff are more balanced.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't grow up playing with it, like you're going to get items that'll, even if you're in last, they'll help you out a lot more. Whereas Diddy Kong Racing, I feel like it's a bit more like skill comes a bit more into play because your items will help you out for sure, but like you're not going to get like a blue shell or
there's much less variety, and like there's really only like your attack, your speed boost, your your damage one, and your shield, and like that's kind of it. So like it is more so up to you to use those, where Mario Kart's much more balanced and fair. I didn't write that down, but I mean that's a good and fair point, I think.
You guys actually just touched on like two of my Mario Kart points, which is that it's more approachable and it's got like a better item system in my opinion. And I think that like not even just if we now put an N64 down in front of a bunch of 20, 30-year-olds, like even at the time, you could have like kids playing with teens, playing with adults. You could have like your parent come and play it and basically just say like, hey, A to go, this stick to control, and this to use your item. And because like in Diddy Kong Racing, like it's very interesting the way they implemented the item stacking, like the item upgrade thing. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know how to strategize that, or if you don't know how to do that, it's not going to be as gratifying. It's going to be like a really low return on investment
right.
when you use items in that. Whereas like in Mario Kart, you get an item and it's based on what place you're in, and it's instant gratification. You get to use that item and it'll help you a lot. So realistically, like it still has a really high like skill ceiling, but it also has a much lower floor, a much lower bar of entry, where you could realistically have someone who's like a few years younger and they could have a realistic chance if they get a really good item and if they keep up with the pack and stuff like that, you know? It just makes it a little more chaotic and, like you said, a little more balanced.
Yeah, I've told it a lot on the show, but I remember playing that game a lot with like my friend's older brother, and it was also good for like he would be like, I remember there would be times where he's like, okay, I got the lightning, but like I'll wait till you get a star, and so like you could like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like he was like helping me out. He's like a big brother that I never had.
Sounds like our Mario Kart negotiations.
And you just crush those kids.
I do it with McKenna now, yeah.
We'd be like, hey, you want to like hold on a second?
Corey, I was at Comic-Con one year, and like there were some kids like maybe 8 years old playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm like 22. I get in, I kill them. I killed all of them.
Wipe the floor.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's right. Get out of here, kid.
One of my proudest moments.
It's got no heart.
since we're talking about multiplayer, that was one of the things I had, but I also wanted to mention the battle mode. I think Mario Kart hands down has the better battle mode.
That was one of my notes as well. Yeah.
That was cool.
You know, they haven't even done it that well in another Mario Kart game.
Yeah, we're always disappointed by the battle modes.
Mhm.
Even in I feel like you can make the newest one a bit more fun, but it's not ideal to me.
Yeah, we had one that was fun, but I really just want them to redo those ones from Mario Kart 64.
I think that's fair.
I put down battle mode as well. Although I would push back saying I think it's like way better than Diddy Kong Racing's, because I actually don't think that's true. Like, I was surprised when I looked, because in my memory, I feel like there's like a ton of battle stages or courses rather in Mario Kart 64. There's only 4, and Diddy Kong Racing has 4 as well. But in Diddy Kong Racing, you can only do like the coin collection only takes place at the castle, or the egg only takes place in the volcano. I think that's a strength of Mario Kart 64, and yeah, like arguably they really haven't topped this battle mode in any kart racer really since Mario Kart 64. So I think it did a really good job of just creating that kind of frenzied, environment. And I guess like the other thing I would say too is like the battle mode in Mario Kart, just by the variety of items that you have, opens up some more fun, some more franticness. Because like in Diddy Kong Racing, like you really only have your heat-seeking missiles, and while it is fun to like scramble to get like your 3 red balloons, it's not quite the same as like the chaos with like all the different items and stuff. So I will give Mario Kart 64 that.
That's definitely. Yeah. Anybody, I feel like we kind of covered multiple. Does anybody have any more Mario Kart points they wanted to say?
I wanted to say I
have another.
Much prefer how the carts control in Mario Kart.
I agree with that too.
Really? Okay.
It's been a while, but I agree with that.
I don't agree with this.
I don't agree with that.
That's hey, a good racing game comes down to how it controls.
Like the main reason I like Mario Kart better.
Okay.
I respect that.
I agree, McKenna.
I don't have unless we want to get into we have some more Mario. I will say my rebuttal.
Some Mario Kart stuff.
Okay, I'll say my rebuttal in the Diddy Kong Racing portion.
We'll table that. We'll circle back to it.
Circle back.
Here's a knowledge gap that we might need to fill you guys in on here. Do you want more Mario Kart? Goof?
Yeah, more Mario. Yeah,
so
let's get the Mario Kart.
Let's talk about Mario Kart.
Okay, how about this? And this is going to be like so surface level, whatever. But like, there is something to be said about like flipping through, and when you get Mario Kart, it's like you're all-star. You've got Mario, you've got Luigi, you got DK, you got Wario, and like Wario, I believe was his first game. I think like more everyone else was in the like SNES one, but like you go over to Diddy Kong Racing and like you've got Diddy Kong, but really beyond that, like at least when I was playing it, like you grow attached to the characters. Like I ended up loving Tip Top and Timber, but like you don't know who these guys are. Maybe Conker, but Conker definitely wasn't the Conker that we think of him now at that point. And like Banjo was there.
Those games.
That's one thing that's cool about it in a different way, is that it's like for Diddy Kong, it's almost like in retrospect, it's like the rosters. Yeah, like that's really interesting. Like the Conqueror's there, but yeah.
It's got your up and comers, but Mario Kart is where the established stars were racing. Okay, so there is something to be said, I think, about like going into Mario Kart and just being like, oh wow, I can pick from like any of these like really great, renowned Nintendo characters, which is still pretty novel at the time. Like, there's no Smash. There's only like the second Mario Kart game, so it's pretty cool to see that. And I don't think that Diddy Kong Racing's character selection, just when you look at it, it really competes with that. Even though I do have a lot of love for, all of these guys. Except for Bumper. I don't really like Bumper.
Bumper got arrested, dude.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Bumper's a bad guy.
He's a badger.
That was my note, my fourth note, that I was like, I don't know if this is a real note, but you said it better. I just wrote, you can play as Luigi, which is sick. I love to play.
Did
as...
he have the stare in
doesn't
Mario
love
Kart
playing as
64?
I
No,
just
no,
can
no.
picture him doing this.
That would be sick.
That ties into your point though too, is the voice acting is so much more fun because it's like Charles Martinet mostly doing all these really silly lines.
Yeah.
And kind of created like that's
Crazy Toad voices.
the Crazy Toad voices are awesome. Yeah, just all the screaming and the weird noises the creatures make.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That actually perfectly ties in with my last point for Mario Kart,
Sweet.
which is like initially it was just that. It was just the roster of like well-known characters versus not well-known characters, but I ended up expanding it to kind of just being like Mario Kart handles its IP a lot better than Diddy Kong Racing, in my opinion. Like overall, it still feels like its own thing, but across the board, it's Mario. You know, you got like you
Yes,
have these
100%.
well-known characters and all of the courses. It's like, oh wow, I'm in Bowser's Castle. I'm in Koopa Troopa Beach. You know, it's bringing back like
These not well-known locations, but like
inspired by Mario game locations and like bringing enemies from the Mario series like as obstacles and stuff like that. It just feels a lot more cohesive. It fits a little bit better into its own branding thing. And that's not entirely fair for Diddy Kong Racing because it's like Donkey Kong adjacent, but because of all the rare stuff, it never got follow-ups.
Yeah.
And
In fact,
Diddy Kong Racing,
they were trying to make they originally made it. It was going to
was
star
different.
Timber, and
Right.
it wasn't
was
going
like a
to be.
dinosaur thing, right?
Yeah, just like a classic Rare thing where they have an idea for a game and they're just like, maybe we need a little star power in this. And Diddy Kong is an awkward choice to be like your
reason
guy.
Interesting.
they were told by Nintendo, which is also
Yeah,
a rare thing,
yeah.
where they make something
That's
and Nintendo is like, you need
Yeah.
to change this. So they're like, you need to put. I believe wasn't that the story? You need to put a Donkey Kong character in there, and they chose Diddy Kong because they created Diddy Kong. So they had some. They
Yeah,
had
go.
like, he's our guy, you know.
I mean, I loved it, but the game would be totally like, it would not lose anything if there was no Diddy Kong. If this was Timbers Racing, like there's nothing that you'd have to change. To your point, Corey,
Yeah,
like there's
I
no
think
Diddy
that's
Kong
fair.
inspiration tracks at all, except for maybe like Crunch, the critter.
Well, like David, what? Yeah, you have a Kremling in there. You have a Kremling
Yeah.
as one of the racers, which is like a loose tie into Donkey Kong, and like David Wise was the composer, and like he's the Donkey Kong Country composer. So it's like the DNA is all there, but it's like by and large, if you look at all those courses and all the characters, it's just kind of general scenic. A bunch of animals and dinosaurs, and like here's the volcano level, and here's the desert level, and here's the ice level, and like Mario Kart does that too, but it ties it in with like the mushroom, you know, the Royal Raceway. You drive by Princess Peach's castle, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the place. I know that place, and I think Diddy Kong Racing just, especially because it never got the follow-up that it deserved, all that stuff kind of just got left in the dust, except for like, what is it, like Tricky or Trixie the Triceratops or whatever ends up being in like Star Fox Adventures, right?
It's like one of the bosses.
Banjo Kazooie as well.
Yeah.
There's some
and
little
then
stuff.
Banjo and Conker had their own things, and it's like it's cool in that aspect, but also it just feels a little disparate in terms of like its own identity, I feel like.
Yeah.
You
well,
know, even or sorry, Goo.
Well, that's kind of speaks to the like one of the things that it's really not even Diddy Kong Racing's fault is that people Mario Kart. I feel like like that idea of like most people can just hop in and play some Mario Kart, even if they haven't played 64 in a while. Is that idea of like. Sure, Mario Kart 64 plays different than what we got now, but you know, I think people have that sort of they've have that connection to the series and like the courses coming back and stuff like that. Whereas, Diddy Kong, they just got the DS like sort of remake, but which
I played all of the remake and I liked it. It was very cool.
The remake was like fine, but like I remember. I don't know about you guys, but like I remember when I got my GameCube. On the back, they had all the pictures of like all the games coming soon, and there was Donkey Kong Racing. Even if we would have got Donkey Kong Racing, I don't think that really would have been a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing. Like that looked more like Mario Kart, but like Donkey Kong, because like you were riding on Rambi, DK was there. Like it looked nothing like Diddy Kong Racing. So it's really like its own unique island, which I kind of love, but at the same time, like it doesn't have that series integration for it.
And look, they're never. I mean, we can't expect anything now out of Microsoft when they're handling with Rare and all that. But they could have at some point. They could have used their non Diddy Kong characters and made like a Rare Kart.
Totally.
But
yeah, they could have.
I think they could have legitimately had every single character in this game except for Diddy Kong and maybe Crunch. But like. And they still could.
I think, like, did anyone play the Banjo, the new Banjo game they tried to make, Nuts and Bolts?
No,
when it came out.
Not.
Yeah, it looked.
I've heard good things about that.
It was weird. Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think it reviewed that great, and
I think it did not at all.
I watched my friend play some of it, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
I think it was Tears of the Kingdom before Tears of the Kingdom was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time. I tried to look at I was like, was it poorly received? I tried to Google it, Banjo Nuts and Bolts, and this came. I don't know if you can see, but I got literally like Nuts and Bolts. Yeah, listings
for a banjo.
Yeah, actually, that's what I got.
That's funny.
Well, I guess if you're searching, what do you expect?
Wow. Okay.
I have one last thing, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay, Mario Kart 64. I don't even know if I like prefer this over Diddy Kong Racing per se, but I think like Mario Kart 64 as maybe the best singular track, and I think it's got the best rendition of Rainbow Road. Like that track is so awesome. And maybe there's actually like Rainbow Roads that are better, and I just like have nostalgia for it. But like I just remember playing this track; it was so fantastic. I think like the aura of Rainbow Road is still kind of like unmatched with almost any track in any racer. Like the what was that track called in the Gran Turismo movie that we were watching?
Le Mans.
Oh, that's right. That is what Rainbow Road is. Okay, that's like Le Mans. If you can podium at Rainbow Road, you are a legend. And I don't think there's a track in Diddy Kong Racing that like kind of meets that same mystique as Rainbow Road.
It is super iconic. It's like a full celebration, It's got the triumphant epic music and like the big lights in the background of all the characters and stuff. And it's not my favorite Rainbow Road, but it's iconic and awesome for sure.
McKenna, you're kind of a Rainbow Road fanatic. What do you think about this one?
Yeah.
It's very showy. It's probably the least interesting to race, just because it's
all right. That's what I was waiting for. I don't like the track.
It's impossible. Like there's like one point where you could accidentally drive off.
No, it's definitely one of the easier Rainbow Roads, at least.
Man, I remember falling off that thing all the time. Well, I guess as a kid, but like that's all I remember.
The whole thing has a guard.
It's got the guardrails the whole time. Well, you can off that big jump.
The first jump, like at the beginning, there's you can get some air and drive off of it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of like the DS
you might be mixing
one.
it with like
because
that's
that becomes a hallmark of the Rainbow Roads. Is like they make them really freaking slippery.
I mean, I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
maybe I'll amend it then and just say like this is the first one that I like remember doing, and I just thought like the presentation of it. I was just like, whoa!
It's still certainly one of the most iconic for sure. Did we all play Mario Kart World?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a cool Rainbow Road.
That Rainbow Road is far and away my favorite. It's so crazy.
I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite because I guess I associate Rainbow Road with like being kind of challenging, and that one I just thought was so easy.
That's okay.
I played it on 50cc, so I mean, what do I know? But like,
oh yeah, well on the higher ones, it's much more challenging. I definitely will
It goes
fall off of
crazy
that
for
one.
It's not the
Points,
hardest,
yeah.
but
It's definitely not the hardest Rainbow Road. What one is like the
Maybe
maybe
Double
the
Dash.
Double Dash one is pretty crazy.
Maybe just
yeah.
because I feel like, or maybe I don't know. I can't think of the DS one, but
I do feel like with Mario Kart World, or like even since then, but World especially, like they've really, I think, got the pizzazz of like what Diddy Kong Racing was going for, like these big set pieces and stuff like that. Mario Kart's been doing that for a while, whereas like 64 is a bit more humble. You know, maybe you'll see the train or whatever.
yeah, there's like set pieces, but it's not anything like crazy, you know.
And they
It's
also,
you know those
the
memes though
castle
where
in the
you see
background,
like
or-
the meme where you see like the Ocarina of Time field as it is, and then like as you imagine, like I picture N64 Rainbow Road as like this, basically like what you see in Mario Kart World. Like that's like in my memory, which is ironic because I'm doing Mario Kart World and I'm just like, yeah, this is nice, like this is fun, but it doesn't have that same feel.
I feel like too they have a little bit of like some of that Diddy Kong Racing vibe. Maybe we'll talk about this more with Diddy Kong Racing, but in Mario Kart World you start to have moments where actually it reminded me more of other games, but like when you're on the water, we were like, oh, this is like weirdly wave race vibes, or there's some times where you're like flying through the air for extended periods of time, and like the gameplay doesn't change much like compared to like say in Diddy Kong Racing where you have like the different vehicles, but I feel like they have some of the thrill of like, oh, I'm going off-roading, or I'm racing on the water or in the sky. So
I
feel like you can maybe see some of that. You know, Diddy Kong Racing has impact, I would say.
Hey everyone, my name's Darren Hupke. I'm a writer, publisher, and podcaster. My podcast is called Pixels and Polygons. Each week I sit down with a guest and ask one simple video game question. It's a random topic each week and it leads to a fun conversation. You can find it on your favorite podcast platform every Friday, and you can read more about it at pixelsandpolygons.net.
McKenna, tell me, what do you got?
Well, this is probably the most obvious, but it's got a single player campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's my first note.
That's for sure the biggest.
That's something I would love to see in a Mario Kart game.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Every time a new Mario Kart comes out, I'm like, oh man, I really hope. And then especially with Mario Kart World, they had the whole open world thing.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, they could really do something.
Hold on though. There is I think Andy remembering Hyrule Field or whatever, like grander than it is. That is what makes it better. But it really is just like, okay, go race all the courses, and you're gonna race Taj a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you know what though, I can't tell you the amount of times I was on that overworld just exploring, and the thrill of like those boss encounters. Like that's something that, you know, that's palpable. I feel like I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say next, actually. But
I'm just to piggyback off that. I'm just a sucker for any game that's got like a little explorable hub world that goes into other worlds. It's Super Mario 64 just did something to my brain where it's like, if I have that, it's immediately like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you're not doing anything crazy, just going into the races, I just love the fact that you have like a little home base to come back to. And it's like, if you didn't do so good, you could be like, oh man, I got to psych myself up so we can go in there again, you know?
I was just saying it because there was people saying, I get if it doesn't hit the same, but like you mentioned Mario Kart World. I saw someone say like, there's literally so much more single player content in Diddy Kong Racing than Mario Kart World. Just it's like it's far from true. I've spent out like so many more. I put so much more time into single player, and it like Diddy Kong Racing is
In Mario
there.
Kart, yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
I don't
as you
wanna-
should, right? Like, context matters. There's 30 years between the games. Like, I would hope that Mario Kart World has a more robust single player experience. But I mean, for the time, that overworld was huge.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
people
I
should
don't-
watch. I'm kind of not arguing against you guys. I'm kind of arguing against the idea that like there is
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
much more in Diddy Kong Racing.
They're
than,
waxing poetic on,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the one.
Well, I mean, the
single
comparable is Mario Kart 64, which doesn't have anything like that. And like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but man, like, remember when you unlocked Drumstick? Like, yeah, like how amazing was that? Like, that was
Yeah, that's
incredible.
sick.
You run over the frog.
The frog, and it's like, what's up with that frog? Why does he got like the chicken thing on his head? Like, I'm gonna squash him, and then like, boom, there's your chicken.
Yeah,
I all that said, that I just said, I do agree. Like, yeah, the single player experience is so much more fun and engaging, and like, yeah, just get it. I spent way more time playing. Like, I don't like to compare it to Mario Kart. Like, Mario Kart 64 is not very fun for very long single player for me. You know what I mean? Like, I could race a couple laps and tracks and be like, yeah, that was cool. Like, go through the GPs or whatever, but it's not that exciting. Like, it gets kind of old.
I
but-
agree. Yeah, I played
Totally.
a little bit the other night, and I did a Grand Prix, and I lost at the last race, and I was like, I'm probably good. I don't have to try that again. But
Yeah.
like, it's funny you mentioned the boss battles, because like that's something that actually in one of my favorite single player things from a Mario Kart game, Mario Kart DS actually has like little boss battle things, which I feel like is pretty, at least somewhat inspired by Diddy Kong Racing. And talking about Mario Kart World, like, I agree. I think that's really fun to play single player, but it's like, I still think they could definitely take a note from like it's like any sort of narrative or story type thing. Like, I think that you could just implement something super simple, and it would just be like that. It would just add that extra layer of like
some sense
purpose
of
to play
progression
single
or
player.
something.
Yeah. rather than just like, all right, let me play all these by myself so I can unlock all the stuff, to have more fun playing with other people, you know?
I do agree with that one, because one thing I love about Mario Kart World is when you roll up on one of those blue switches, and it's like a place that wasn't a racetrack, but now they're like, race on the lake here, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
The world
But
is great in that.
Yeah, but I do think if that was tied to just something a little bit
Yeah,
more.
they could just like, I don't know.
Well,
I
they
feel like
could
it
have.
wouldn't
They're
have
gonna
I feel like
support.
you're just driving around doing random things for no particular purpose or reason in Mario Kart World. And there's like a lot to do, but I think it's also like, is this worth doing? Maybe that's a separate
thought,
conversation.
It's
yes.
the
but-
experience. Like,
I will
experience
say-
it.
Sorry, Corey, I didn't mean to cut you off, but for me, it
No,
was
you
the
do your-
perfect, like, I was playing something else, and then I was like, okay, I just need to kind of like go in and like,
Sure.
and just have some fun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Yes.
driving around. I'm like, ooh, what's that blue switch? Yeah, I'm kind of aimlessly wandering. Oh, I'm in a race now. Oh, and like some of the challenges were fun to do, like, or a lot of them were fun to do. So,
Yeah.
for me that worked, but I would not. I would say it's not like impossible that they could do more, like with the
Yeah,
game.
it is. It's like, it is just pure, unadulterated, just like gameplay experience. You just start going, and you could spend so much time just getting lost in that huge world, doing a bunch of stuff. And like, whether it's just the only point is just to do it because it's fun, you know? I just kind of wish there was like a little sort of guiding
Mhm.
factor, like any sort of narrative, like maybe like a couple characters here and there being like, oh, you got to go do this thing, or like, I don't know.
You can unlock some
It is
characters
fun. It's
even that way.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny, Andy, you mentioned unlocking the what's drumstick?
My
is
boy,
the
a drumstick.
chick's name? Drumstick and
Drumstick
GT.
stick.
That's one of my other points for Diddy Kong Racing, actually, is just the fact that it has unlockable stuff in general. Because
Yeah.
like you get the you have everything in Mario Kart. There's not really anything to unlock. You can't get any more than the 8 racers. I'm pretty sure you have. Do you start with all the tracks?
Yeah.
All the cups?
I think so.
I think you do.
Can you unlock? Is there like a mirror mode? Am I misremembering that?
I don't know if there is a mirror mode in.
Oh no, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
You can keep.
there could be.
Keep making your
I
point.
mean, there typically
Tell us
is.
about Drumstick.
I just don't know if it was in.
Yeah, talk about Drumstick. No, but
He
Drumstick
apparently was the
he
best
just-
racer of the bunch. That's why Wizpig turned him into a frog. There's some lore behind why Drumstick was.
There's some
frogified.
crazy lore involved with Diddy Kong Racing, if I
Yeah.
Yes.
recall.
And most of it's just in the manual. You have to read. You got to read the
Yeah.
manual.
My point, I'll piggyback, just agreeing again with McKenna. I think like the story mode and the overworld and everything like that is, a big selling point. But I mean, also we have vehicles. We have a plane in this game. We have a hovercraft. Like, there's so many hovercraft levels where it's like it feels like you're playing bumper cars, and it's like so absurdly fun. I love the plane levels. This is pretty groundbreaking at the time. Like, and really. Not until like Mario Kart 8 are we flying around in Mario Kart. So like,
Yeah,
it
and even
really
then you're
felt
just
Seven.
floating. Really,
just
you know.
gliding. Yeah,
7's the
like,
one with the gliders, yeah.
the plane mechanic in this game, I think, just feels crisp. And hoverboats, they feel like a little bit clunky, but I almost feel like that's by design because like it's like again
it's
bumper
fun.
cars. It's fun, yeah.
To like
So
get your turn just right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there's lots of times where I'm just like, I'll bump up and then like do a 90-degree turn and it feels super chaotic and like you've got a lot of other people in the same pool as you. I mean, I think for like 1997 though, those plane mechanics feel really, really good. So much so that the sequel to this was going to be Diddy Kong Pilot, which again got scrapped, which kind of bites. But yeah, I thought that this was like an obvious one, but a really, really like something that really set this game apart. I feel like, and frankly, I think like elevated it beyond any other kart racer until, I mean, arguably ever, but like it's certainly until Mario Kart 8, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was something you were hoping for in Mario Kart World, was like different types of vehicles and stuff like that. Which they sort of, like I said, they sort of delivered on it. It's really just
like auto switch to different.
There's not like
forms.
There's bikes and like ATV type vehicles, and then
like you drive on water.
typical cars.
Here's my thing though, is like
They don't
how
change the
how
gameplay,
different does like a dirt bike feel from a cart, and then like how different does it feel when you go on water? Like there is a difference, but like it's
not
similar.
a lot.
Yeah,
they're pretty much. It's mostly aesthetic. They have like the stat differences because they all have different stats, but like
yeah.
I will say it never, like, for me, it was never. I felt this way like when I was thinking back on it, but then when we were playing it, now for the show, like I never felt like if there were some courses where you could pick like a plane or a cart, and it never felt like if I was picking a cart and the other person picked a plane, it was almost like we were playing a different game. You know what I mean? Like you were racing in the sky, and which is sort of fun, but I don't know, that
I
like
like that.
Well, I actually kind of feel like that was my last point, is the vehicle selection, which I think in general, just having a bigger selection of stuff to pick from is always just going to be more fun. I feel like that aspect of it can kind of like be a detriment a little bit in Diddy Kong Racing, because like depending on how the track is designed, if there's a bunch of like obstacles on the ground and stuff, and you pick a plane, it could just make the whole track kind of trivial. But like, again, that's not, I don't know. I still feel like it gives you a different gameplay experience, and that's the positives outweigh any of the negatives, I think.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that for sure.
Mhm.
I think we should talk about this now because we teased it before. I actually think the controls in Diddy Kong Racing are better. Yeah,
buddy.
I liked, the one thing that I really liked was that there was like 2 levels of drift that you can do. Like you can do your basic drift, but you can also hit the brake and do like a super drift, and so like you could adjust on the fly. Like I just in general, like that's a game where like the drifting to me feels like how I like in my head closer to how I feel when I play Mario Kart. Whereas like Mario Kart 64, I just can't do. I could never get the drifting. I just kind of drive and hit the walls or whatever. You know, I can't get.
That happens a lot.
I can't get good at it, and I'm not really good at Diddy Kong Racing, but I feel like I have more control when I'm playing it. So
I think like the key is like Mario Kart 64 is very beginner friendly, and it's made for people to just hop in, pick up a controller, and like play, which is a great quality to have. But I think if you play a lot of Diddy Kong Racing, which I did, like you do feel like you can maneuver around like pretty well, at least on a kart, maybe not in a hovercraft, but. Like I agree with you, Goo. I always felt like the drifting was pretty tight in that game.
I can't really attest to much of the like high level play for Diddy Kong Racing because I've never put enough time into it to like really get into the weeds on that much stuff. But I definitely Mario Kart 64. It has a very high skill ceiling. Like if you ever watch some of the speed runs and stuff for that game, it's like there's crazy stuff that you can do in that game. And I do feel like drifting is hard in that game. And I feel like I don't know if it's meant to be that hard, but it's definitely something that you can get better at and time a lot better. And I feel like I'm sure Diddy Kong Racing controls fine, and especially with the multiple vehicle options, like I'm flying looks like so much fun. It looks like that's something, and it looks like it controls great. It looks like it all makes sense. But I feel like Mario Kart feels more like I'm racing when I'm controlling that game, as opposed to just like driving around. You know?
Okay.
I mean, fair. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning. Like Mario Kart does kind of feel like you're in a racing game, and Diddy Kong Racing, you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well. So I like the plane controls a lot. Not a huge fan of the hovercraft.
Yeah,
but,
that's all fair.
But the biggest thing is that I don't like just the regular kart controls as much as I do in Mario Kart. There are times in Diddy Kong when I am driving the kart and I'll be going towards an item and somehow like manage to completely miss it, and I'm like, I don't know how I missed that. Whereas I never get that feeling in Mario Kart. Also, we played Mario Kart 64 like 2 weeks ago, and I did a whole bunch of drifting, and I was, which I don't normally do in Mario Kart 64. And I felt great with the drifting.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I was like, okay, I don't usually drift in this, but I feel like I'm doing pretty okay with the drifting.
Switch flipped and McKenna became a pro.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not one I can like explain. I can't explain it really why it is, but it's just like for whatever reason the Diddy Kong drifting clicks with me, whereas Mario Kart 64 doesn't. But I don't know enough to like exactly explain why that is. So the last thing I have, and I'm just gonna kind of throw this on because we sort of talked about it already, is I think in general the courses take whatever, like Toad has a turnpike, that's cool and all that stuff. Koopa Troopa's got a beach. I think the course designs and stuff like that are more interesting in Diddy Kong Racing.
I agree. By far, I would say loop-de-loops. I mean, come on.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I don't have enough information to really back this claim up, but like from what I was watching, it seemed like the actual design, like I'm not gonna, loop-de-loops and dinosaurs walking on the courses and like footprints in the sand and stuff. Like it definitely has all of the set pieces and all the cool crazy stuff. But I feel like when I was looking at the maps and the turns and stuff you were doing, it didn't seem super interesting to me. Some of the Diddy Kong ones.
What the hell?
I don't know, man. Well, hold on.
What the hell?
Go to hell, Corey.
Seemed pretty simple.
There we go. We did it.
There it is.
We got there.
There it is.
We got one.
There's
I was
also
waiting
a lot
for the
more.
right time.
there's a lot more like shortcuts and like things like that. I feel like
I do really like the Diddy Kong Racing courses. I like that they have their theming with like each area. Like you have the snowy, icy group of courses.
True. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah. But there's just something about the Mario Kart courses that just they
These
have
guys,
they have
they're-
something. You know, when I think of
feel like-
Mario Kart 64, I'm thinking of driving over the cruise ship in the jungle.
DK Jungle Parkway.
I'm thinking about driving up to Peach's castle.
Yeah. They're undeniably more iconic
All the
Than any
lava
track.
in
track.
Bowser's castle and the boardwalk that I cannot seem to stay on.
No, that's the tough one. Yeah.
Dude, that's what I was thinking of. Banshee Boardwalk, not Rainbow
Yes.
Road. That was
yes.
nuts.
Banshee Boardwalk is super hard.
Okay, I
Oh, yeah.
apologize. I got it wrong.
It's
Thank
okay.
you.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven.
They're
My
just
God.
all like very distinct.
Yes. Yeah, big time.
And they have like a personality to them, probably because they're so strongly associated with a character a lot of the time.
I see.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, the gameplay elements of the track, they fit in with like the theme of the track too. Like they don't
Mhm.
reuse a ton of ideas all that much. Whereas
Mhm.
like it's definitely a super cool with like Diddy Kong, where you said there's like the snowy group of courses that all have this kind of shared thing, which it's cool in its own. It's good and bad, and it's in different ways because it's like they recycle some ideas, which makes some of them feel less distinct, but they're maybe stronger as a group. So
I don't know if I would
don't
agree
know.
with that. I disagree.
I think that those courses themselves. I actually think those courses have more personality, and
I think they go out of their way to be more different, like the ones that are grouped together.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't think any Diddy Kong Racing course is more memorable than like any Mario Kart course. Which that's not fair coming from someone who played way more Mario Kart 64. So I don't know if that's just like fully biased or if it is they're
Well, you
just
might- you might have
undeniably
a
more
point there.
iconic. You know?
You might be right. I mean, like, keep in mind too, like Mario Kart 64 sold double the amount of copies that like the Diddy Kong Racing ever did. So that's probably the prevailing notion. And McKenna's right. Like it helps when you're talking about Toad's Turnpike or Wario Stadium or these very Yoshi's Valley versus like really, really spectacular tracks like Dark
Dude, that's
Moon
got
Caverns.
a huge Yoshi's Valley, got all the different paths and a gigantic egg spinning around. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, like for example, like is there kind of a scary track in Mario Kart 64? Maybe Banshee Boardwalk.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I think without question, Haunted Woods is like the better track, but what's more memorable is probably Banshee Boardwalk, just because like it's from Mario Kart and Mario Kart's is like juggernaut, you know?
I agree with you for sure. Like that's how I felt, was like the actual like, and again, I think it has to do more too with like, I just think the presentation is slightly better in that game. Like I think the game itself has more put into like those elements on the course, like sticking out.
I'm interested to see what you guys think, but like, Goo, you're saying that you like the presentation more in Diddy Kong Racing, and I can definitely see that argument when it comes to like the cool over the top nature of the set pieces and like comparing it to an amusement park ride, stuff like that. That being said, I feel like Mario Kart looks and feels so much more polished than Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, I don't agree at all.
Yeah, I don't agree at all.
Like I
think Diddy Kong Racing
gameplay.
looks substantially better.
I watched some gameplay of Diddy Kong Racing, and I'm like, oh, this looks like it could have used a little more time in the oven. Which,
Well-
like, maybe that's. I
Well,
think.
are
Diddy,
you thinking
part
of
the
it?
reason-
Are you thinking of it how you think of seeing Mario Kart on NSO? Like,
No,
like
no.
Because
I'm
no,
thinking
to
like
me,
original.
Okay.
No,
I have to say that playing both on original hardware,
Oh,
I kind of like there were times in Diddy Kong Racing when I was like, I don't know what's going on in the distance there, or I'm like going through a tunnel and I'm like,
Well-
I don't know which way this is turning.
Part of the reason,
okay.
which I think is to give Diddy Kong Racing its flowers, part of the reason is I think because they go out of their way to try and 3D model more things in that game. So it's
that's
taking
what
a
I
bigger
mean.
swing.
That's why
Yeah.
I think it.
Well, it's taking a bigger swing for sure, but I think like Mario Kart does such a good job of like using the sprites and using them to make it, you know, that manufactured 3D look where it's not really 3D, but it kind of looks like it. I think that just looks so much more polished during gameplay than watching all these janky 3D models flying by. Because I don't think
Yeah, I don't.
really
Yeah.
look that good.
To me, they're like in terms of like the performance of they both are on a similar level. Like they both,
Yeah.
honestly, they both kind of suck on some level in terms of their performance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gameplay wise, yeah. I think at least visually, aesthetically for me. I think Diddy Kong Racing, like there are some things I look at and I'm like, I love the vibrant colors. I think they're doing some really cool stuff thematically. It's all sweet. But I just look at some things and I'm like, ugh.
Okay.
I have a hot take. Like I think
It's like with Andy and Twilight Princess. I just see some things and I'm like, ugh, that fella's a little ugly.
I have no problem with that. Everyone's got that game that just does something. It has that je ne sais quoi to it. I feel like Diddy Kong Racing has like a much higher replay value than Mario Kart. Like in Mario Kart, you can do your races and you can do them on 50cc, 100, or 150, and then you can do like the battle modes, and you can do you can do all that in Diddy Kong Racing. You have your battle modes. There's more diversity in those battle modes. Yes, you're limited to a particular mode on a particular stage, but I feel like that's certainly not a deal breaker. I feel like you can replay, tracks in either the plane or the hoverboat or the cart, or mix it up if you want to. I feel like with the silver coins are much more engaging than just like racing at a higher speed and still like collecting those to win. Like a lot of these courses have like little secrets that you can go find, like the keys to unlock like the battle arenas and stuff like that. Racing your ghost, which I know you can do in Mario Kart, but like and doing that to like get TT, exploring the overworld. I think that the replayability of Diddy Kong Racing just trumps the replay of Mario Kart 64. And I would agree. I think you said that, Corey. Like, I don't think Mario Kart 64 is very fun to play solo. I think Diddy Kong Racing is a blast to play solo and with friends. So I'm biased. I would personally say, yeah, like I think I will be honest, actually. Like I think most Mario Kart games are like kind of like, I don't know, like haphazard a little bit. Because it's Mario, and haphazard is the wrong word, but like there's just a couple new tracks and like that's kind of it.
Haphazard.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Canadian accent, Corey. You know what I mean? Though, there's new courses and that's great, but like there's hardly, I don't know. Maybe this isn't true because like there is different modes that they try. I just feel like for me, like Mario Kart, just for whatever reason, and has never really stirred the drink. I think that Diddy Kong Racing is just like a substantially better game, to be honest.
I can't agree with beyond that. Like, I feel like, but I can agree.
I still think that this is like the best kart racer ever made.
I can't buy that.
Maybe Mario Kart 8 with all of the stuff that they added in, okay, but like, man.
Well, so I don't think I could argue with anyone who says like Diddy Kong Racing is a better game, a better video game than Mario Kart 64, just because like the sheer variety of stuff there is in it. I'm typically a guy that's like, if there's a bunch of stuff you can do and it's fun to do, even if you don't want to do it, like that, it just adds to the value of the game. And I can't deny that there's definitely more stuff to do. And I feel like replayability is kind of I don't know if I I don't have the same feelings with you on that point because like I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. I play every Mario Kart game when it comes out. The only one that I didn't play when it came out was Super Mario Kart because it was a little before my time. Every other one I get it when it comes out, and I play the crap ton out of it. And several Mario Kart games, I've had like different periods of my life where I'll play a bunch of it, mostly because I'm in a different location with different people, and it's one of those games. It's like a Smash type game where it's like you can pull it out, and everyone's like, "Oh, let's play Mario Kart." Like I played the crap out of Double Dash when it came out, and I arguably played more Double Dash ever when I was in college because like all of my roommate and my buddies and stuff, we would play, and we pulled out the N64 and did Mario Kart 64 sometimes too, but we would have Mario Kart Mondays and play Double Dash, and it's just like
There's like replayability.
is kind of a weird, like we use that term a lot when it comes to Zelda games because those are like adventures, and it's like how likely are you to boot the game up and do another adventure, do the same adventure over again? And I agree that like there are more ways to experience the game in Diddy Kong Racing, but I feel like I'm more likely to play Mario Kart 64 more and over again just because of that factor.
Yeah. Maybe replayability, because like that's subjective, right? Like maybe what you said is the better way to put it. Like there's just more variety for how you can play the game.
Yeah, there's a wider variety of ways you can experience the game.
Sure, yeah, and like I don't disagree either, and I think we'll have a similar conversation when we're talking about GoldenEye versus Perfect Dark. I think that one of those games is like definitively better than the other game, and yet the other game is going to be the one that more people play, right? So like it's kind of like that same, and ironically both rare games. So I think that that's a fair point. For me, like what gets me about Diddy Kong Racing is probably just because it does have those more single player options, whereas Mario Kart is like, if you're not playing with buddies, like there's really not a lot there for you. I don't know, man. Like I really like Mario Kart 64. I have very fond memories of that game. I think in like almost every category, Diddy Kong Racing is just that game. Like it's a level above for me. And maybe that's nostalgia. I don't know, because I played a lot of this game like with my brother, and like
these guys can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, like, but I mean, like, I just think like this game is like in every category. I think I would say Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64, and I might be the only person that would say that, and that's okay.
I pretty much agree. When we were talking about replayability, I pretty much agree with everything you said, Corey. I've probably, like, we were talking about, playing that even versus like a newer, like I've probably spent more time just playing online Mario Kart World or Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart World, let's say that because it's newer. I've already probably spent more time in that online with friends than I ever have total in Diddy Kong Racing. But to Andy, to Andy's side, if I ever think about what's kind of like what I was saying, I'm never really going to sit down and play Mario Kart 64 like solo again unless I like need to for something. I'll always go back to it with friends, but there is a chance, I've beaten Diddy Kong Racing now in the past year twice, both on DS and N64. I could see myself going back on N64 and doing there's Adventure 2 where everything's mirrored. And like I would totally just play through the game again, or if it's just been a while, like I'm gonna play through and try to beat all the courses again, and it would hold my attention much longer. But I will spend more time playing Mario Kart with my friends easily.
It's like it's a different type of replayability for sure.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm guessing, McKenna, for you, the only way you really want to play it is multiplayer, right? You don't do a ton of solo Mario Kart, I take it.
I mean, not like 64.
Mm-hmm.
I did play a good amount on the like Wii and Wii U, I think, and I've done a little bit on World.
it has, I guess there is like in the newer ones too, it's like if you get, I do like to get all the trophies on the courses, and like then you unlock some stuff, so that's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play all Mario Kart games single player until I unlock all the stuff I need to, unless it has an online, in which case I'll play some online sometimes. And Mario Kart World's just got more single player stuff to do, so I put time in that too. But
So your team Mario Kart? Corey, Mario Kart?
Oh, big time.
Okay. And Andy's Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong Racing all day, every day. I gotta say, no matter what team you're on here, I was expecting to be like Shawn Michaels coming into Canada here. Okay, so I'm glad that you stuck up for me a little bit.
Of course. I respect your opinion on this matter. Maybe not on other things.
Lots of other things.
No, I don't know. I just feel like sort of a centrist on this issue. Like just due to the single player. Like I feel like one is the single player game.
Oh no, there's room in both camps.
Centrist, jeez.
I know. People want me to take a stance on these issues.
Take a lane, buddy.
He's sitting on that fence good.
Well, one thing that's like really sticking in my craw now is like the idea of like when you say like one game looks poopy and the other doesn't. I'm thinking like they both look like that's gonna stick with me now. Like I kind of want. I hope if people are still listening, I hope you're still listening. I want people to like let me know like which one do you think like. If either, we've actually had people on the show who said both like look like shit and they weren't joking. I don't know if you recall that. So there's also probably people who say that. I feel like I appreciate that more than saying one looks good and one doesn't look good. So
it's really an outrageous statement, actually, Corey.
If that's how it was portrayed, I don't think Diddy Kong Racing looks bad in general, as a general statement. I just think there are some things that look less polished in it. I don't think Mario Kart is the prettiest game either. I kind of agree with it, but like a lot of games from that time don't hold up that great. I don't think either of these games visually hold up that great. But I think I guess that's a better thing to say. I think Mario Kart 64 visually has aged better than Diddy Kong Racing. I'll firmly stand behind that.
We're shit.
No,
we've got head shaking up and down, left and right.
I think for sure.
And at the time, it not even holds up better, but like at the time, you just could never convince me that like someone looks at Diddy Kong Racing and is like, oh, this looks terrible. I want to play that graphical powerhouse Mario Kart 64.
I guess it's a little different, but neither of them are crazy visual spectacle. I just don't agree. I'm more in reaction to yours saying like the presentation is better. I think they're taking bigger swings undoubtedly with the presentation, and I don't think it lands all the time. I think it has the negative effect sometimes.
Okay.
Whereas I think Mario Kart 64 plays it safer by doing all that sprite stuff, and like generally it looks it's more solid in that approach.
I think to me their flaws both equally show.
They both suck, you know.
I would definitely appreciate that. I appreciate that, but there's got to be people listening right now being like, these games, both these games suck ass. What are they talking about? I definitely think. What's that?
What are we gonna get Whizpig in Smash Bros? What do we have to do to make that happen? Look at this guy. That's a villain.
Whizpig is a freak.
Yeah, there's no race equivalent of. I spent like hours racing this fucking guy. In Diddy Kong Racing.
He was a nasty guy. Yeah.
Talk about replay value. He really put my feet to the fire.
Do you find yourself playing older games and wishing that there were new discussions about those games? Enter Tales from the Backlog. Hi, I'm Dave Jackson, and on each episode, I'm joined by a guest to break down those games that may be stuck in your ever-expanding backlog. Each episode looks at one game in depth, focusing on mechanics, story, music, and other aspects with no spoilers until a clearly marked spoiler wall in the middle. If you've played the game, go ahead and climb that spoiler wall and enjoy in-depth story discussions, and if not, jump out when we warn you and maybe go play that game for yourself. We have over 100 episodes in the feed, everything from Disco Elysium to Tunic to discussion episodes about how to get into horror games, and if games actually need to be fun. or if they have more to offer. I guarantee that there's something in there for everybody. Once again, that's Tales from the Backlog, available wherever your podcasts are found.
Corey, Andy, thank you so much for joining us. I guess let's do a round of plugs, because you guys actually together have a new thing that we can plug on here. So,
Oh yeah, that's true.
We
Tell us-
are the elf and the dwarf teaming up for Middle Earth, the podcast.
Yes.
Which one is which? You can decide. But yes, we have teamed together with Alice and Aletha to release a monthly Lord of the Rings / J.R.R. Tolkien podcast called Middle Earth, the podcast on patreon.com/spnet.
cool. Corey, anything else you want to plug? What do you got going on?
Go play some Mario Kart 64 and some Diddy Kong Racing.
Tell us how they look.
And
Not necessarily in that
they're
order.
both the most beautiful games I've ever seen in my life. To be honest.
God,
Go check out.
if you showed these
Go check-
games to like a 16-year-old, they'd be like, "What am I
Gen Zer.
looking at?
Like, this is disgusting garbage.
Is this
This from
abstract art?"
60s?
Okay, great.
No, but go for real. Go check out. Just go check out the Zelda Dungeon YouTube because we do fun stuff on there.
Oh yeah, we got by the time this comes out, we'll have some new stuff out that's a lot of fun. Well, new old stuff, but yeah, it'll be fun. I don't know, Andy. Anything else want to plug? You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're letting me go, OmegaMetroid.com, the Omega Metroid podcast. Once a week, we talk Metroid. We talk inspired by Metroid. A lot of Metroid things. We are the only weekly Metroid podcast in the world. I have talked more minutes of Metroid than I think I can safely say I've talked more minutes of Metroid than any other human being. So like that's kind of cool in a podcast realm, anyways. Obviously the Zelda cast got that going on. And most importantly, Virtual Theater, a podcast about video game movies and the stories that shape them. And by the way, patreon.com/spnet, where me and Corey are, doing our thing. Me and Gooey Fame have a couple projects going on over there as well. We talk some Zelda, and I don't think we've actually said what we're doing on the Metroid side, Goo.
Yes,
Maybe we should announce it.
We'll tell them because by this time it should be close. I don't know when this is coming out, but we're gonna do. I'm going to be joining you on the Metroid side of things, which is a series that I've played like 3 of the games. So we thought it would be fun if I'm going to help you with this. Maybe I should be more familiar with the series. So I'm going to start playing some games. Gooey plays Metroid, and you're going to kind of ask me about my experience. And we're going to start with the original Metroid for the NES because, we'll talk about it on the show, but I was just playing it for fun the other day and was like, actually, this is really fun. I want to play more of it. So I'm excited to get into that. It's going to be a great time.
It's going to be a rockin' time. So yeah, lots of different stuff. If you find me on Blue Sky, you can find everything I do there.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, McKenna, great job today.
Great job, Goo.
Happy anniversary. People don't know this,
Happy
but
anniversary.
we're recording on our anniversary.
Yeah.
So
Love
for you listeners, it's a bit
1
late,
year.
but what's that?
1 year
1 year. Not our this is our real life anniversary.
of
1 year
of
and they're still
marriage.
fighting about Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing.
I didn't
You know
realize
what
it
would be
was
like
so
a
divisive.
really romantic thing to do for your 1 year anniversary is like a duel, like Go to Hell Corey. That could be romantic, you know.
All right, let's do it, and that's how we're gonna close the show. So thanks everyone for listening. Go to flashback64.com, soundstone.network, and we'll do 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, like 3, 2, 1, go to hell, Corey. Right?
Okay.
All right, are you ready for this, Corey? You might need you got
Bring
some
it.
ice packs ready? Okay,
There's a freezer right here. I'm ready.
perfect. 3, 2, 1, go to hell, Corey.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
How romantic.
Yeah. The Zelda Cast is getting even bigger. Join us on patreon.com/spnet for access to the Zelda Cast XL, the new bonus show featuring podcasting's dynamic duo, Andy Spiteri and Gooey Fame.
We're taking a new approach to do our bonus shows and giving you more of what you love, letting you get more involved in the show itself. Each month, we'll have some fun and play a few games, answer some Patreon questions, and discuss some Zelda topics on a more personal level.
Consider joining for only $4 a month, and you can ask us questions about Zelda or anything else on your mind. Let us know what topics and segments you want us to discuss, and be a part of an amazing community of Zelda fans hosted by two best friends.
The ZeldaCast XL is taking everything you love about the show and ramping it up even more. So come and hang out with us, only on patreon.com/spnet.